Hey beautiful people, what is up and welcome back to my channel and welcome to your first impressions video on the brand new Blend Money Cosmetics Sickly Sweet palette. Now I'm not gonna hold y'all in this intro, but if this is your first time watching me, welcome. I am Jamila. I love all things beauty. I love all things makeup and skincare, and I especially love sharing my tips and tricks for how to find high-end and luxury beauty products at bargain prices. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, I would absolutely love if you would consider subscribing and joining the fam. Okay, so typical first impressions trajectory. That's not the word I was looking for, but that's what we're gonna go with. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of product details, pop up some swatches so you can see what it looks like on my complexion, and then I'm gonna do 3 looks for you all. Now, couple of disclaimers. This is my first time playing in pastels, so please be gentle. I know they're not my best looks. It's just, it is what it is. I also want to flag, this is not one of them. I forgot to film this intro. Full transparency, so I'm filming this kind of after the fact, and I have a whole other palette on the eyes. Let me live, let me live. Anyways, here is the Blend Money Cosmetics Sickly Sweet palette. This is the newest release from the brand. It's actually considered their Halloween release, which, yes, I know, very weird, considering that it is a pastel palette. Now, I finally got the theme of it. It took me a minute, but it's like the pastels are the sweet, and then you have these pops of really rich dark colors, which is like the sick part of it. It's very different for Halloween, and I kind of appreciate that because I'm kind of over the stereotypical orange, purple, green Halloween color stories that we see. So this is a very different color story. Now, this is a 30 pan eyeshadow palette, and it will retail for $44. This will officially release on Thursday, September 28th at 10 a.m. PST, which is 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you're on the East Coast. Now, in addition to the palette, there are going to be 2 lip oils that will be launching with this. I do not have those yet. They shipped after the palette. But when I do have them, I will post swatches on my Instagram. I'll probably do a quick short so you guys can see what it looks like. Full transparency, I love the Blend Money lip oil formula. I do have all of the lip oils from the previous release. I think it's absolutely superb. And they're going to be $12 each, and they're actually pretty chunky compared to other lip oils on the market. So in terms of like how much product, I think it's amazing. Now, this, I do believe, is a pressed pigment palette. It actually has the ingredients on the bottom, which tells you which are eyeshadow, which are pressed pigments. So if you do have sensitivities, I would just say make sure you check the website to see how many of the shades are pigments versus eyeshadows, if you expect to get a reaction from this. In addition to that, a couple other product details. This is vegan, cruelty-free, and will have a 12-month shelf life and was made in China. So I think that's it really for the product details when it comes to, when it comes to this palette. Now let me go ahead and pop up some swatches for you guys. You should be seeing these swatches right now. I just wanted to let you guys know that I swatched it on my skin tone with no primer, nothing additional. I'm a medium deep complexion with a yellow/golden undertone. And I just take my pictures with my iPhone 13 Pro. So I try to arrange things by color story because as you can see from the layout of this palette, it is not as cohesive as previous Blend Money palettes have been. So hopefully this is helpful. Okay, and now that you guys have seen what the palette looks like on my complexion, let's go ahead and dive into 3 eyeshadow looks, and I'll be back at the end to give you guys my final first impressions thoughts. Okay guys, so we're gonna get started with the first look using the Sickly Sweet palette from Blend Money. You can already tell my eyes are a lot lighter than usual because this is pastels. I'm trying to do my best. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna do my best. So just so you guys can see, this is what the palette looks like without any swatching on it. So this is like the perfect pristine palette. Y'all, I'm so nervous because if you know, pastels and deep complexions, they don't exactly work out well for us. They look pretty ashy. Now I'm gonna use my Sigma brushes. I just bought this set because I saw Best Beauty Deals BFF post that this was on clearance. This is the Makeup Shayla brush set. It was originally $86. I got it for $18, and then the price dropped again. So there was another coupon code that you can use, and you would get this for $13. So I went ahead and bought another brush set. Mainly because I wash my brushes. I'm trying to do it this weekend, but we'll see. Now, before we dive in though, I do want to apply one thing. I am still waiting for my lip oils to come in, but I'm going to use one of the older lip oils. This is the Bare But There lip oil. This is from, sorry, it's called Baby Girl. This is from the last release. So I'm just going to throw this on because my lips are feeling a bit dry. And lastly, I am using some artificial light because it is storming here. Apparently there's a hurricane rolling through, so it's really dark and gloomy. So I have my regular room light on and a little bit of my like ring light situation here going on as well, so that my face isn't too dark. Okay, let me bring you guys in closer. And this is what we're starting off with. I did use my Gerard Cosmetics medium eye primer for today's face. So that's why we're looking a little ghostly right now, but we'll fix it, right? So because I'm not familiar with pastels, I did do a little bit of research to try to figure out how to make pastels work on dark skin. I'm gonna try to employ some of the techniques that I saw when I was looking this up into today's eye look. But full transparency, if this doesn't look good, it is what it is. I tried. This is really my first time working with pastels, so please bear with me, guys. I'm also gonna do 2 different looks on each eye, so you're gonna get 2 looks today. So first thing I want to do is I'm gonna go into Party Dress, which is this shade here. Now this is pretty close to my color, the color of my skin, or my eye color, I should say. And when I was when I was looking up how to work with pastels for deep skin, I stumbled across a video by Jackie Aina, and one of the things that she said was to start with a flesh toned color to kind of like buff out the edges, because pastels can be really stark, and you want that flesh tone color to be the transition for the pastels that you're gonna lay down. So I'm just gonna concentrate that on the top part of the eye, really as a sort of buffer before I go in with the actual pastel color.
Wake up, I'm ready to go. Yeah, feeling so good in control. Yeah, think of the places I could.
Okay, so now that that has been laid down, let's dive into the rest of the shades. I'm so nervous, you guys. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to do a lavender look on this eye and then a sort of mint look on this eye. So I immediately want to go into this shade called Glow Stick. So I'm gonna pick that up and honestly just put it on the lids. Like, wow, that's bananas. So I'm gonna stamp that into the crease of this look. Now when it comes to mint, or just, you know, pastel shades like this, I feel like you kind of have to like stamp them in. Don't blend too much because you're gonna blend the color away. Like, these are already light, you know what I mean? And if you want the opacity, it's more about pressing it into the skin than it is about blending. At least that's what I think, and I'm making this shit up as I go along, you guys. Now, I also am very curious about how these 2 shades are gonna look. This mint and then this blue. So I'm gonna take the mint shade first. Oh, wrong brush. It's called Just an Act. And I want to start by stamping that into the inner part of the eye here. Oh, I really like that. That is pretty darn vibrant. Okay. So I'm just going to slightly dust my brush off a little bit, and then I'm going to go into the blue shade. It's called Feelin' Blue. And I'm going to put that right next to it, kind of on top of that first shade.
It gets better being alone together. The world is upside down and I'm turning inside out. But I know it will get better being alone together.
I mean, it's definitely giving a little patchy. Y'all. So I just am blending to see what is happening, because this is what we're working with at this point. And it's just like dusting away. Okay. I'm just gonna keep blending, see what happens. Okay, so now 2D shades that I laid down, I feel not applying the best. So like the one that's in the middle, the one that's there. So I'm gonna go back into Just an Act, which is the one that I put in the front of the eye, which I think gave me the best pigment. So I'm gonna go back into that blue, and I'm gonna see if I can really, oh, I think I picked up the wrong one. Yeah, I picked up the wrong one. Okay, now I have the right one. And I'm trying to get the level of opacity just kind of across the lid here.
Constantly within deception, leaving me no destination. On and on this repetition.
Okay, this isn't looking as bad. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm like genuinely terrified. Okay, let's see. Okay, so. Jesus. This is not what I was going for, but this is where we are right now. I am genuinely tempted to, you know, wipe this off, start over. Because I have a lot of things just mixed in here. But we're just gonna keep going. Because that's the best part about makeup, right? You play, you figure out what it is works and what doesn't work for you. And you get better, you learn. So, I'm actually gonna, with the chaos that's on my eye, try something that's equally new and different to me. And I'm gonna do some liner. Now I have this killer liner from Too Faced. I actually swatched a couple different ones on my hand. It's this one right here. And I feel like I'm gonna try to like draw a bit of a wing on this eye. Just so we know where we're going with this. But y'all. Maybe I should have done this at the beginning. This isn't looking too bad. Now, I do want to add some shimmer to this because it, you know, the patchiness is just going to drive me nuts. So we have the green and we have the blue. Let me just swatch both of these. Ooh, so this is the blue. Sorry, this is the green. This is the blue. What the heck? Let's just use both. Now I'm taking the sort of flat brush from Sigma and I'm going into the blue first. And I'm gonna try to like put that in the outer part of the eye.
I can already see that you're changing shapes and right in front of me while you're chasing faces.
And then I'm gonna flip that brush over and I'm going into the green. And I'm gonna put that into the inner parts of the eye.
Speculations always return, constantly with indecision, leaving me no destination. On and on this repetition. I can feel you watching me stole another piece.
Okay. I genuinely don't really know what I'm doing at this point, but I'm doing things. No, I think I want to add a little bit more liner to this look. So I'm taking this blue Epic Wear liner. It's actually a lighter blue than the first liner. This is from my NYX. And I'm adding a little bit more to this.
Tell yourself that I'm the one. While you're sitting here taking space and I'm all alone trying to trace with you.
And lastly, I have this pure liner, which has a little bit of glitter in there. And I'm just gonna go over the Too Faced liner with this.
But you try to. I can already see that you're changing shapes and right in front of me.
Okay, so this is eye number 1. This is a lot for me, personally. I don't know how I feel about it. There's definitely a ton of fallout. And this is my first time playing in pastels, you guys. Please, please, please take that into account. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying my best. So let's go ahead and get started on eye number 2. I feel like I just ran a marathon trying to do this one eye. And I am genuinely concerned about eye number 2. Which, let's go Lilac Purple. So I'm gonna go into this purple shade. It's called Frills and Thrills. I'm taking my Refa number 1 brush. And I'm gonna like focus that on the outer parts of the eye here. Oh, that's pretty.
You say, drape your body on me.
Ooh. Okay, this is so much easier than the last eye so far. Why did I start with the hardest color to possibly do? Mint. Jesus.
I can make you mine.
This is showing up a lot more vibrant on me so far. And I'm not getting that same patchiness that I was getting with the first eye.
Covered up, torn up, how it's always been. I can already see that you're
Then I'm going to take another Refa number 1 brush and I'm going to go into Rosy Cheeks, which is a pink shade. That's pretty. And I'm going to put that into the inner parts of the eye, you know, blending that into the purple.
speculations always return
I'm already liking this eye so much better.
with indecision, leaving me no destination. On and on.
It's like a little cotton candy peachy thing. So I'm going to use 2 shimmers again. I'm going to go into this shimmer first, into the sort of outer part of the eye, and then I'm going to go into this shimmer. So that first shimmer is called Cotton Candy. Ooh, that's pretty. And then the second shimmer is called Ruffles. So you have Cotton Candy and Ruffles. So I'm taking a little bit of Cotton Candy. And I'm just going in with my finger, not using a brush this time.
This and yet so free, trying to reach
And then taking Ruffles.
in front of me.
Next to each other, those two kind of look the same. But overall, both very pretty. Okay, let me go clean this up, finish up the rest of my face, and then come back and show you guys the 2 final looks that I managed to come up with.
With new memories out in case she calls you, trapped inside your open mind. Well, look at me, I'm trying to hide. There's some things you can't deny, but you try to. I can already see that you're changing shapes and right in front of me while you're chasing faces.
Okay, these are the final first 2 looks. I'm not mad. I am taking it all in. I guess I don't know how to feel about this, you guys, because like I said, this is my first time diving into pastels. I've never done this before, so you know, just kind of bear with me because I'm doing the best I can with a product that I've never worked with before. So I will say that overall, I don't think my blend is the best. Like, there's definitely some improvement to be had there. And I guess I'm still working on figuring out how to work with pastels because I'm someone that likes to blend a lot. But because I'm of a darker complexion, for me, I feel like pastels are more of a set it and forget it. So, you know, you pack it on the lid, you get that opacity. If you do too much blending, it's gonna like go away and it's gonna look dusty, which I think I really struggled with on this eye. Teal, not even teals, mints, light blues, those are significantly harder to work with. The purple and the pink, that was fun. It wasn't easy, but so far not too bad. Okay, so a couple of things that I do want to point out that I did to kind of finalize this look. One thing I realized is that I struggled a lot with the liner, and I don't know if it's because pencil liners are just hard to go over shadows. Again, y'all, I'm not a pro at this. I'm kind of figuring it out. I forgot to put in an inner corner highlight, so oh Jesus, give me a sec. Give me a sec. I want to do the best with this, you guys. So let me just quickly add a little inner corner highlight. This is just my Rare Beauty highlight. So I just popped a little bit of that into the inner corner here. Probably not the best color choice for this one, but I think it looks really good on this side. So yeah. So like I was saying, I struggled a little bit with the liner for this look. So what I actually ended up doing, because pencil liners just don't work well, is I went into my Bella Beauty Bar Celestial Garden palette, which has these water activated liners, and I really focused on these two. So I used the 2 liners here for this look, and then I used the dark purple liner here to line this eye. And I really like it. I like this side, and I think that I really want to get into playing with these water activated liners a little bit more. Now, this side is definitely what I struggled with a little bit, but I do think that this side is actually really pretty and quite wearable, so I would definitely be down for recreating this as a full look as opposed to this, which might just be a little bit much for me. But these are the first 2 looks. I'm gonna dive into a couple more looks. I definitely want to play with the deeper shades in the palette, see how grunge we can get this, you know, just show you guys the versatility from super light pastel to like deep and grungy shades that are in there. So let's go ahead and dive into another look. Okay, so we are back and we're gonna try just a simple, everyday, like typical look that I would do with this palette. So this is what we're working with. I am gonna go ahead and start with Temper Temper and try to use that as the transition shade for today's look.
I still need to recover from another lover. Would you be here for me?
And I just want to say that I went in with my Sephora concealer as my eyeshadow primer for today because I wanted to go back to what I'm used to for this look, since it's supposed to be like a stereotypical look that I would do.
In my head, what should we do?
Next, I'm curious about this yellow, almost lime yellow shade. So I'm gonna go into that. It's called Center of Attention. So I'm gonna pick up a little bit of that and put that into the inner part of the transition area here.
Yeah, she's what I need.
Yeah, it's very, very light.
Need to recover from another lover. You're my picture.
Okay, dusting off my first brush, I'm gonna go into Party Dress, which is the most flesh toned color. And I'm gonna put that right in the crease under the first shade. I'm just taking a little bit of that into that crease area. And then I'm gonna go one up into Melancholy, which is the dark brown matte. And I'm gonna put that into the outer part of the eye. So I'm gonna create this deep outer V using this brown.
Yeah, she's what I need.
Okay, this definitely is not the prettiest matte concoction, but here we are. So there are only 2 shimmers that we haven't used, so I guess I'm gonna put them on the eyes. This is gonna look like a hot mess, y'all, but rock with me. So I'm gonna start with the dark purple, and then I'm gonna end with the yellow shade. So the dark purple shimmer is called Big Feelings. Big Feeling. Oh, that's pretty. So I'm gonna put that into, oh, that is pretty. Is that what you would call a multi-chrome or a dual-chrome? So I'm just using my finger, putting that into the center of the lid. These shimmers are definitely on the creamy side. They're not the same shimmers in the All Done Up palette, which are definitely more dry. These have a lot more creaminess to them. I don't know. I prefer the All Done Up shimmers.
What should we do tonight? What if this breaks you?
Okay, and then Cupcake is that lighter shimmer. So I'm gonna put that into the inner part and just blend that into the first shimmer shade. Okay, so this is what the eyes are looking like right now. I recognize that this is a bit of a hot mess express. I'm gonna try to clean this up, pull this together, do a little bit of blending, you know, all that fun jazz, and then come back and show you guys the final look.
Still haven't met your parents, but we hang with your brother when he could use the company. What shall we do tonight? What if this breaks your little heart in mine? What shall we do tonight?
Okay, so this is the third, and I'm gonna say final look for now. I do want to come back and do another look for you guys because there's just more that I want to do in terms of playing with this palette, but I would like to get this first impressions up before this launches, if possible. That way you guys just get a sense of what it looks like on my deeper complexion and how versatile this palette can be. So let me just give you guys my overarching thoughts on this palette. So this is a pastel palette. Let's start with that. I do think that there are some challenges that come with working with pastel shades when you are my complexion. I don't know how this works for someone of a lighter complexion, but I do feel like pastels can be quite tricky because they are white based. And with that being said, it does mean that on a complexion of mine, even, you know, like a medium and definitely deeper, it shows up as ash, it shows up as dusty. And one of the things that I think can be hard with deeper complexions is whether or not, because of how light these shades are, when you put them next to each other, if they're gonna show up, you know, the same, if they're gonna blend together. Now, I do think that some shades were trickier for me to work with, and I didn't use all the shades, obviously, but there were some that I struggled with. I think the mints and the greens, those are a little bit hard. Funny enough, when Jackie Aina did her pastel video, that she said that lavenders and purples are easier to work with than the mints and the greens, and she was right. I do want to underscore and remind you guys that this was my first time playing in pastels. I've never done it before, so this really was like a, you know, I'm gonna give it a try and see. And quite frankly, did I love all the looks I created? No, but do I feel proud that I tried something new? I pushed myself? Yes, absolutely. Now, is this a palette that you absolutely must have? No, and to be honest, most aren't. I will also say that out of the entire Blend Bunny sort of range, this is probably the most limiting in terms of what you can do because of the pastel nature of these shades. I think that this has to be something that you really, really want in order for you to go ahead and get it. I actually would have preferred if this was in the smaller Blend Bunny format. Now, this one does have, how many shades in here? 30 shades. Some of these smaller palettes, like All Done Up, have a little bit less. Let me show you guys. So I actually pulled out Sugar and Grunge. Now, Sugar and Grunge is the same size as All Done Up. You know, overall, the fit is still fine, but this does have 24 shades versus 30 shades. Just want to show you guys the colors of this one. And this does have like a row of pastels on the top, and quite frankly, that's enough pastels for me because pastels are not a sort of everyday shade that I'm wearing. But I just think that this would have been a better size for this palette because I don't know if we necessarily needed all of these pastel shades, and I do think that some of these next to each other kind of look pretty similar. You know, even the mint blue green shades, I do think that these, because they're pastels, and strictly because they're pastels, once you put them on the eye next to each other, especially if you're doing blending with them, they're gonna fade into each other. Would I have picked this up with my own money? I don't know, you guys. I feel like this is a hard one for me, and honestly, I'm leaning towards no. And part of that being because, one, I don't wear pastels. Like, it's something that I don't reach for or gravitate towards because of the fact that I know what pastels are going to look like and how they're going to pull on my complexion, and I just don't have the skill set to, like, actually make this work very well. So it's probably not something that would have been my initial attraction. And I have to address the layout. Like, while I think it is quite funny that it kind of kept us on our toes because we were expecting a very specific layout, this is a little chaotic, and I was kind of like struggle busting my way through like what is happening. So I do feel like this would not have been something that I would have originally just jumped on. Am I glad that I have it in my collection? Yeah, because it was really fun to play with. Like I said, it actually pushed me out of my comfort zone. It got me to play in graphic liner, to just try new things when it comes to shadows. And it is one that is going to test the limits of my creativity and actually like push me to become more creative and to play around with this a little bit more. Now, if you have this palette, or if you want to get this palette, I do want to show you guys two more that you might have in your collection, just in case, you know, you already have pastels, so you might not want to pick this one up. Now, the two palettes that I'm going to show you, I'm going to say straight up, I haven't tried them yet. So, like I said, this was my first time trying pastels. And yes, I have pastels in my collection that I haven't used. And it's because I've been afraid to use them. So, the first one that I want to show you guys is the Jamrock Pastel Palette from Playing in Makeup by Yolando. Now, this is a Black-owned brand. And I do think that these shadows pull a lot more vibrant and actually might show up better on a deeper complexion. And I'm saying I think because, again, I have not tried these, but now I am very tempted to put these on the eyes and see and compare how this will work against the Sugar and Grunge palette, because I do think that these have more punch and are probably more appropriate for a deeper complexion than this one, which I think just pulls a lot lighter, if that makes sense. So these are the two next to each other. And then the last palette that I want to show you guys is the Delicious Delights palette from Cosmic Brushes. Yes, I picked this up and still haven't used it. But this also has pretty vibrant pastel shades, or pastel leading shades that might, you know, work for you if you weren't interested in picking up the Sugar and Grunge palette. So let me just show you guys these two next to each other. So, there you have it. Again, still haven't used this one. So, these two are definitely going to be in my to try pile because I do want to see what I can do with those palettes. Now, like I said, I do want to do one more video on this. So I'll probably do a, you know, second try video using this palette. But for now, I'm just going to stop here. This was a lot of fun. It was a challenge. I want to hear from you guys now. Let me know if you're planning to pick this up. What are your thoughts on, you know, pastels on deeper skin tones? If you have any recommendations or tips and tricks for me, please let me know. I would definitely be open to all of that because I am learning and I'll take all the advice, you guys. So let me know if you have any tips and tricks, if you plan on picking this up. What are your thoughts on the new layout? All that fun jazz in the comments below. As always, I want to thank you guys so very much for watching. If you do plan to pick this up, you can use my code Jamila. It will save you 10%, but no pressure at all. Right, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, do all that fun jazz. As always, I appreciate you guys so much more than you know, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye!